for joining us for another episode of What's Your Why Wednesday. Today, I am joined by the lovely Nicole Mattiello. She is the VP of Marketing and Corporate Communication at Certified Credit. Okay, Nicole, most of us came into the mortgage industry by accident, but we stayed in the industry because it is tied to our personal and professional why. So, Nicole, please share with us, what is your why?
First of all, Laura, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I know we've gotten together a handful of times this year, and it's just been a joy. So thank you first for having me. Gosh, my why, I feel like it's funny because you're right. Everybody you talk to, none of us went to school, to go into the mortgage industry. We land here. But then I think something about this industry really pulls you in. It sucks you in, right? Actually. And I will say, I think it's hard to leave once you're in it. It's like, there's this component there that it's in your heart. And you often sit back and you do think, why does that matter to me? And it's funny. Yesterday I was actually recording a video for our organization about, what it means to us around the holidays and holiday memories. And one of the things that really sticks out to me, and as long as I've been in the industry, frankly, is that I've always focused on the idea around the holidays in particular, that what we do helps put people in homes, right? You're giving a child their Christmas morning or whatever the particular holiday might be. Maybe it's Thanksgiving. But that sense of this family environment and these people that matter. And it's not just, for example, on the credit side, with what we do, and there's changes to credit reports and things like that. It's not an update. It's not a turn time. It's not how fast did I get this one check mark, it's done. It isn't that. It's that check mark is a person, right? And it's connecting those two things to me that I think has just been so impactful because, you want to go to work and feel like what you do matters every day. And that's kind of the cool part about this industry. You really know what you do matters. It matters in such a visceral way for people to feel like they have, their home, their family, or they're just starting out and they're on their own, individuals out there. This is my first place. And I did this, and that sense of pride that comes with it. And it's just great, I think, to be a part of that and to help build that kind of happiness for somebody. And you don't get that many other places.
As you're speaking, so many words are like coming into my mind, right? One word is memories, right? We are giving them the start of so many beautiful memories, right? The memories of, like you said, that Thanksgiving or that holiday season, or listen, I can speak for myself of junior proms and graduations and birthday parties and weddings, right? I mean,
we're the magic makers.
Of those magic makers.
We're magic makers. I mean,
that is right.
Not to make it sound silly, but I always think that in my head. I've actually never written it anywhere, but I think it to myself, like, we're making magic for people. Like it's not, maybe we're not the classic Disneyland, right? But
you are because who doesn't? I mean, we go back to like our parents' home, right? When we had those memories of growing up in our childhood homes, right? And all of those memories, and then going back maybe to that home during the holidays. When you walk in, like, think of it like a Disneyland, right? You can smell the home, and you can smell your parents' house, right? You can see that picture or that drawing or something, some memory that you're like, right? Man, I'm back in 2000. I'm back in 1995, and all of that, it is magic making, because when you think of those memories and all of that that's made in that home, we're part of that, and that never goes away. It doesn't matter how many years pass. It doesn't matter. It's there forever, here and here.
Yeah. And it's just, I think to me, that's such an incredible thing. There are a lot of different jobs we could be doing, right? I would say everybody's got to work. Like we have to. But like, to find something that you feel is personally rewarding to you, and that, you enjoy it. And all the better if you're lucky. I'm very lucky that the group that we work with here, I often talk about it being work family. Funny story. I'll tell you in a second, but I mean, it is like a family environment where you love working with these people, and PS, you're doing all this great stuff too. And I think that that's just so motivating and so much better than other things that I could be doing with my time. Like I feel like the time that I use in this career has been rewarding, not just for me, but I think it's helped a lot of people too. And that's pretty great when you get to do that type of thing.
That is awesome. And Nicole, that kind of brings me to the next question.
Mhm.
Give me a story or a moment when you realized the impact that we have on those outside of the mortgage industry.
So actually taking you back to my first job out of college, I ended up working in a collections agency, and that's actually, transcended, I should say, I guess, from a credit perspective,
Yeah.
landing where I'm at now. But like in that environment, it was hard because a lot of times you recognize that these families, they didn't want to have a collection on their credit report, right? Like they didn't, they wanted to do the right thing. They just didn't maybe have the resources right now, or maybe they didn't know how. And so they kind of needed that helping hand. But when I worked in collections, I mean, wonderful group of people. We were very sensitive to, the consumer's needs. But at the end of the day, that's still kind of what your role is. So it's a little bit of a tough thing sometimes. And it can weigh on you a little. It's kind of difficult. But then further down the line, I find myself in the credit world, and it's different, right? Like in our seat, what we have is different tools that we can use to help the loan officer help that family. And so as a result, you see those things that were challenges to them, and you're able to help turn it around. So even though it's not necessarily a one person thing, there's so often been times where it's you helped this particular family, this particular individual, and but it happens hundreds of times. Right. And so that's kind of the cool thing. You're making that impact by, taking something that was a challenge for them in their life and showing them here's how we can spin this into a positive. It doesn't have to be a challenge forever. It's not gonna be the be all and end all here.
It doesn't have to define you, right? It doesn't have to define you or label you, right? No. There are solutions, and there is education to be able to get that, so that whatever that blip was or whatever that situation was, you can get past it and move forward. Oh my God, that's life-changing.
It is. And there's so much that the financial literacy piece, amongst our, I would say it's unfortunately, it's kind of pervasive, right? In our society, kids grow up without really knowing. Like you luck into it if you happen to have a family that did okay. Maybe they taught you some of the basics and you then did okay and you didn't make bad decisions, or, you made some good ones by chance. Like you didn't necessarily have the guidance or the information to know, like, hey, this is what I should be doing right now, or I shouldn't sign up for 800 credit cards. Like, you didn't know.
No matter how special those offers are, right?
I know those t-shirts back in the 2000s, man, I can remember that. Get a t-shirt. And everybody, you really didn't know. And I think it's impactful to me too. The different organizations that we work with and individuals, we really try to focus on that financial education component for the younger generations. And I think being able to have an impact from that way and help people before they ever find themselves in a challenging situation, it's just so rewarding to know that you're giving back on that level. And hopefully somebody's going to have a really bright future because of it, or you can help them course correct when they're off. And like you said, it doesn't have to define you. It's a moment in time and we move forward. And I think that's pretty incredible to me.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. And yes, I totally agree with you. I mean, the education piece is so important and so valuable. And I know you and Certified Credit are very passionate about that. And we thank you for that. So final question, Nicole. So fast forward, okay, all these years later, what do you want your legacy to be on the world?
That's an amazing question.
I know it's a big one.
It's a big one. I'm going to say, for me, and I try to take this aspect everywhere, I guess, that I go, is I when people think of me, I hope they think of sunshine and bunnies. Like I try to be a positive, motivating force for others. I try to be the people gatherer, right? Like and I know I've told you before, Laura, people never believe me that I'm introverted. I know it doesn't seem like it, right? But I feel happiness from trying to bring people together, trying to help them work together as a team, that team building, finding all the right people so that when you're working together and you're doing something together, it's like, it's magic. It feels like, man, this is really impactful. I enjoy the people that I'm spending time with. I want to work with, I would hang out with you on a Friday night just because, not because we work together or something. It's not forced. I love inspiring that kind of camaraderie between people and kind of that cultural element, right? Like this is the culture of your work environment or even a family environment. Like that component is just like hugely helpful to me. So funny enough, so this back to my story, I'm going to come full circle.
Yes.
I didn't tell you. So we were at MBA in San Diego here this past fall, and we're out at one of the events and we're talking to different people and kind of engaging, you know, and the most like I'm just talking to someone and all of a sudden I was like, I have to introduce you to my family. And then I was like, I mean, my work family. It came out of my mouth like that. Like it was that genuine. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like that, my gosh, that we have created the kind of relationships here where we work together and we enjoy each other's company so much that that's just a natural thing. And to me, it doesn't matter what scenario you're in. That's just super valuable. You know, I've been blessed that this isn't the only time in my life that I've worked with a team like that before, but it feels, I don't know. It's just, there's something really special about that, being part of a group that you just really feel connected to. And so I hope that, you know, many moons down the road, people will remember, man, she would have people coming together and she was always trying to worry about what were we doing that was fun as a team? Why did we care about trying so hard to work together and support each other? Why did that matter? And so I hope that that's kind of where I live in their brains.
Well, I love that. And yes, I always think of sunshine. I don't know if I ever thought of bunnies with you, but sunshine, sunshine and bunnies. Now I've got the bunnies part in there.
Bunnies,
and yes, cute. Nicole, from the moment that we met, and yes, you are part of the NAMBA Visionary Program, and that was how we initially met.
Yes.
From the moment that we met virtually, I instantly felt your warmth and sunshine. And I thank you for sharing that with all of us. And I, you know, my saying is always shine brightly. You are a bright light. Continue to shine brightly throughout the world, because I believe that sometimes people are in a dark cave, right? We all, sometimes we're bright and sometimes we're not. And so we need to shine brightly for those people that maybe need a little bit of our light at that time. So continue to be your most glorious self, just like you are. We thank you for sharing your why and for everything you're doing for our industry. And until next time.
Thank you, Laura.